Fragrance is probably the most overlooked part of homemaking. We spend so much time organizing, cleaning, decorating, but the moment you walk into a home that smells beautiful, everything just feels different. It feels calmer, warmer, almost intentional. So today, I'm sharing all the fragrance methods I use in my home, from incense and diffusing to smudging, along with my favorite brands and a few simple hacks I wish I knew sooner. We all grew up with the scent of agarbattis and incense in our homes. And even now, incense is still the easiest way to create that calm, familiar feeling. So I'll start with some of my favorites. For everyday use, I love brands like Fool, Sukham Handmade, and Cycle. They are simple, reliable, and the fragrances are beautiful. I usually choose scents based on my mood or even the season. Sandalwood feels very grounding and calm. Florals are lighter and more uplifting, and resin based fragrances give that deeper, almost temple like feel. I have also put together a quick slide of my favorites that are easily available online. Now, if you're using incense regularly, your holder really matters. Let's start with this brass one. It opens into a beautiful lotus shape, but as you can see, it has darkened slightly in the area where I keep the incense cone. And that's because I place the cone directly on it. So here is a simple tip that makes a big difference. Always line your holders with foil. It makes cleaning effortless and keeps your pieces looking new. I absolutely love this brass holder. It's actually one of the first home decor pieces I ever bought for my home. And what's funny is, I remember saving a very similar piece on Pinterest years before I even thought of buying it. So when I finally found this, it felt oddly familiar, like something I had already imagined in my space. Tiny bit of manifestation, I guess. And even now, every time I use it, it still feels just as special. Alright, moving on. I also love ceramic holders. They are minimal and you can style them in so many ways. Even something as simple as pairing it with a contrasting coaster can completely change how it looks. Then there is my everyday wooden holder. I have had this for years. It's practical, easy to clean, and just works beautifully. For agarbattis, I prefer elongated holders like this. They are simple, but they catch all the ash, which makes a big difference. Overall, I think the key is to choose something that's both functional and easy to maintain. And lastly, of course, a clay holder. This one is especially versatile because you can also use it for smudging. Just a quick tip, always use a heat-proof surface or a coaster under your incense holders to avoid any damage. Now, there are days when you want your home to smell lovely but without any smoke. And there are so many simple ways to do that. Let's start with room sprays. I personally prefer natural, essential oil based ones. These are from Sukham Handmade. My favorite way to use them is on soft furnishings, cushions, curtains, even wardrobes. It keeps the space smelling fresh in a very effortless way. Another simple trick, add a few drops of essential oil onto cotton and tuck it into cushion covers or wardrobes. It's such an easy way to create a lingering fragrance that lasts for days. Right now, I'm loving citrusy oils, especially bergamot and sweet orange. They just make the space feel fresh and uplifting. You can also diffuse essential oils the classic way. Just add a few drops to water and place a candle underneath. As the water warms up, it releases the fragrance slowly into your space. It's a very gentle, continuous scent, not overpowering at all, and it just lingers softly in the background, making the whole room feel calm and inviting. And now my absolute favorite, diffusing camphor. There's something about the fragrance of camphor that instantly makes a space feel calm, clean, and almost sacred. You can either use ready-made camphor blends or simply take pure Bhimsini camphor and add a few drops of your favorite essential oil to it. Right now, I'm using a mix of orange and bergamot. It's fresh, citrusy, and perfect for the season. But you can experiment with so many combinations. Sandalwood for a deeper grounding feel, rose geranium if you want something floral, lemongrass for freshness, and even tea tree for a very clean, purifying kind of scent. What I really love about camphor is that it creates a subtle temple-like atmosphere. It just sits quietly in the background and makes the whole space feel lighter and more peaceful. And finally, my favorite part, smudging. For me, this is less about fragrance and more about how my space feels. It's something I like to do when I want to reset the energy of my home. I usually choose between sage, sambrani, and bakhoor. I have two types of bakhoor here. The first one comes in small wooden chip form, which I found on Amazon India. It's very easy to use and gives a warm, rich fragrance when burnt. The second one in the blue box is from Lulu Mall in Dubai, and the scent is absolutely divine. And these are sambrani blocks. I like to crush them into a powder with my mortar and pestle so they are easier to use. I use these small charcoal cups. You can also use tablets or natural dhoop cups for smudging. Once the charcoal is hot, I place it in my dhoop dhani and slowly add the sambrani powder. It immediately creates this deep, warm, resinous smoke. Just remember to keep your windows or doors open while smudging. It helps the space feel fresh rather than heavy. Once the smoke builds up, I simply walk around the house and let it spread gently. And again, a small tip, lining your dhoopdani with foil makes cleanup much easier. Now for bakhoor. I'm using my clay burner for this, and I'm using the bakhoor that I found on Amazon India. So once the charcoal is nice and hot, I just place a few small pieces on top. Almost instantly, it begins to release this rich fragrance that feels much deeper compared to regular incense. It's a bit more intense, so you really need only a small amount. And what I love is that some types of bakhoor can also be used in diffusers, which makes it quite versatile depending on how you want to use it. I haven't talked about sage here since I have already shared it in a previous video. I'll link that along with a detailed Instagram post in the description. And that's everything I currently use to make my home smell warm, calm, and intentional. You don't need to do all of this every day. Even one small ritual can completely change how your space feels. I'd love to know which of these you enjoyed the most. And if you have any favorite fragrance rituals, please share them with me in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas to try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.